Well, hello everybody. I hope everybody had themselves a fine, let's see, almost 2 weeks. That was the last time I think I was on here. Welcome to episode 40 of Psycho's Platters. That's right, we finally got to the big 4-0, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, I'm feeling under the weather. I don't know if it's literally the weather or just me. I don't know. I can't seem to get myself even keel. Every day seems to be a battle, but whatever. So, have you guys been doing really good on your crate diggings? Have you? I hope so. I hope you guys have had better luck than me. I do have a variety of stuff that I picked up over the last 2 weeks. Excuse me. Oh, geez, that hurts. I'm gonna show you here. Just trying to figure out where to start out with. How about this one? Went through the t-shirts. Yeah, I went through the t-shirts at the local Goodwill. Unfortunately, size large. I can't fit into this sucker. But I almost missed this. In case you can't figure this out, this is Heaven and Hell. This is the album cover to Black Sabbath's Heaven and Hell from 1980, when it was Ronnie James Dio, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward. Yeah, that's right. But in 2007, bear with me, they decided they didn't want to deal with the whole Black Sabbath name issue. There was some legal things going on, so they changed their name to Heaven and Hell, which, you know what, that's okay. We get it. And it was everybody I said except Vinny Appice came back, who he was a member of Sabbath for Mob Rules and Live Evil. It's a tour shirt. Yeah, I want to say it was for the last American tour that he did before Ronnie got sick, which, I miss him, damn it. I don't know if I told you guys, I had a chance to meet him in 2000. I was a street team member for Spitfire Records, and I was supposed to go and work the front of the house for the House of Blues in Chicago. And for doing that, I would have gladly been given a backstage pass, an after-show pass, to meet not only Ronnie James Dio and his band at the time. That was during the Magica tour. That was when that was. But I also would have gotten to see Yngwie Malmsteen and Doro Pesch from Warlock, who all three of them were on that label at that time, doing a straight across the board tour. Would have been real beautiful. Unfortunately, like most things back in that day, there was, I think, a family emergency, and I had to literally back out at the last minute. I was half upset, but life takes you where it takes you. All right, so let's see here. What else? How about this? CDs? Yeah, I got some CDs. Nothing too fantastic, but, there's for $1 a piece, couldn't screw it up. Isley Brothers' Greatest Hits. Warren Zevon's Excitable Boy. I like this album. I like Warren. Van Morrison's Tupelo Honey. I never get to see Van CDs. That's got to be a first for me. Also, Stone Blues. Charlie Musselwhite Blues Band. Don't see too much of him. He just came through the area not too long back. This is a reissue from 1968 produced by Barry Goldberg, who Barry Goldberg used to work with Steve Miller. That was actually their first gig together, is the Miller Goldberg Blues Band, if I remember correctly. Best of Taj Mahal. I like Taj Mahal. First time I ever saw him, the Rock and Roll Circus, the Rolling Stones movie, filmed in late '68. He was the first performer. And then I went to Vintage Stock one day, and everybody always seems to like to give me a challenge there. Hey, can Paul find anything decent in the 99-cent bin? Off of Paris Records, which is, I think it's a defunct label now. I don't think they do anything anymore. I could be wrong on this. But they were big in the 90s and early O's for reissuing metal, hair metal and regular metal. Demos for the first Rocks Gang album. Yeah, they didn't last too long. They were like 2 albums and then they disappeared. So kind of cool that I was able to see that stuff through. Okay, let's see. Found some more sheet music. How about that? Nothing really elaborate. Found some Lionel Richie. You Are. That song's okay. Truly. Lost in Your Eyes from Debbie Gibson. And I thought this was kind of cool. From Tony Orlando and Dawn, tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. Quarter apiece they were. Also, I thought this was kind of funny in itself. The condition on this book is actually pretty dang good, considering that it is... yeah. Was put out in 65. The second printing, which was a paperback, was put out in late 65. Got it for 50 cents. The Story of the Trapp Family Singers by Maria von Trapp. It shows, of course, a photo from the Sound of Music movie, and of course the back shows Julie Andrews. Front showed Julie Andrews too, but so that wasn't bad for 50 cents. Okay, you know what? I got to tell you something. I've been blessed to be able to keep finding down here. I have never found, over my years of collecting, so many signed albums like I have coming down here. This has just been like a neat little hotbed. If it's not signed albums, it's signed books. I'll get to that part at the end of the show. New occasional show coming. I never can get enough, can I? But this one, okay, I went to this place that... remember last episode I showed you guys a signed album from the Dave Rooney Trio on Soma? Okay, and I had a couple other oddball things. Well, this came from the same place, but I didn't find this. My son James did. He went and texted me. He goes, "Hey, Dad." He goes, you know, he didn't know that I already looked through the piles of records. Okay? He just happened to be in there, and he goes, "I found a signed album." And I'm going, huh? Wait a minute. I thought I pretty much found everything. I was wrong. And for once, I'm glad I was wrong. But, I mean, we're talking boxes and boxes of Ragtime, Mantovani, Andy Williams, Tony Bennett. I told you before there was a couple Verve Jazz, but none of them were worth saving, unfortunately. They were in bad shape. So when he went off and showed me this, yes, more old sweet songs with Frank DeVol and his Rainbow Strings. Okay? Now, this is on Columbia. There is a couple scuffs. I'm seeing it now. But it's on 6i and it's stereo. And, I mean, it's just basic stuff for the day. But here's the thing. When I got this from him, I Googled Frank DeVol. I gotta confess, I barely have heard his name in the past. And I couldn't figure out why. So, especially Doug Fields, Ronnie Dark, and Mike Adams, I think you might get a kick out of this as to about I Googled Frank DeVol. Okay? And he first of all, to let you know, that he died in 99, so he's been dead for almost 15 years, okay? Fueled by coffee. Okay. So, Frank DeVol, mini little bit here. In the 30s, he was a member of the Horace Heidt Orchestra, otherwise known as Horace Heidt and his Musical Knights. Alright? Art Carney was a member of this band around this time period. So I think that's kind of cool that he got to play with Norton. In the 40s, he wrote arrangements for Nat King Cole, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, Tony Bennett, Dinah Shore, and others. In 66-67, he arranged the soundtrack to the movie The Happening on Columbia Pictures and co-produced the title song for the Supremes. Remember that one? That's a cool little song from them. He wrote scores for movies, 4 of them being nominated for Academy Awards: Pillow Talk, Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte, Cat Ballou, and lastly, the 1967 film Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Spencer Tracy and Sidney Poitier, and lots more other films. TV work. He was musical director and arranger to 50 shows and 60 shows like Family Affair, Brady Bunch, Gidget, and My Three Sons. He was also an actor. This is where I remember seeing him. I don't know if any of you people are going to remember watching this show in the late 70s. Kind of a cheesy show, but it was, anything that was on. It was on about, I think, 10 or 10:30 at night on Channel 32 in Chicago, WFLD, That's the syndicated channel, pretty much. So he was Happy Kind, the band leader in the 70s show Fernwood Tonight. Remember the Mary Hartman spinoff? Yeah, that's where I remembered it from. I'm like, oh yeah, he was kind of cheesy. That whole show was cheesy. He also made appearances on I Dream of Jeannie, Gidget, Bonanza, Brady Bunch, Get Smart, and he was on the last season of My Three Sons. Gee, this wasn't a stretch of acting. As a band leader. Beautifully signed on the back, it says, to Herb, best wishes from a musician to a sound engineer. Sincerely, Frank Duvall. And then he was really cute. I could tell he was trying to write a musical, I don't know, like an A sharp, I think it says, and he drew a piano. Very different. So, you know what? It's kind of cool. I told my kid, I said, you know what? I think you got one of the most neatest autographs of the year for me. And he didn't know it. He actually felt good about that, as he should. So good job for James. Let's see, what else did I end up getting? How about this? Salvation Army. Somebody dumped a bunch of albums. Some of them would have been worth more if they weren't scratched to holy hell. Ridiculous. But I did find this. I had to get this. This is just so goofy. And to tell you the God's honest truth, I wouldn't have even known who this was if it wasn't for a rocker making a song about Fred Bear. Yeah, Ted Nugent. Remember, he wrote a song about Fred Bear. But Fred Bear did an album. That's right. Fred Bear the Hunter did an album. And it's called Fred Bear, America's #1 bow hunter, tells his secrets of hunting to Kurt Gowdy, America's #1 sportscaster. What really kind of cracks me up here is it says, limited edition, $3.95 value, but for you it's $1. Back, of course, shows pictures. These shrinks still on it too, go figure, of him hunting all kinds of things. No wonder why Nugent got interested in this guy. I think Fred Bear actually sounds like he would have been a blast. It says here, I got to read this. You know how I do this. Among modern-day bow hunters, the name Fred Bear carries the same magic and respect as Robin Hood. Fred's long list of big game trophies now numbers more than 100. His exploits approach fiction, downing a bull elephant with a single arrow, spending a sleepless night deep in the African veldt, cornered by lions, returning to Alaska after being charged twice by angry polar bears to finally bag one on its 3rd try. And now, for the first time on record, is Fred Bear talking on the subject he knows best. Toiletry. No, that's not it. Hunting. Not just bow hunting either. Because Fred hunted with a gun long before he became interested in bow hunting. Well, that's a relief. So anywho, the only hint I have on this is that it just says that Kurt Gowdy covered the '68 Winter and Summer Olympics for ABC. So obviously this must be late 60s, early 70s, okay? So I figured, what the hell? Amusing. You want to learn how to bow hunt? Go listen to the Fred Bear album. I don't know how you could learn. Okay. I think I told you guys last time I found a sealed copy of Olivia Newton-John's Soul Kiss. I never seen this Olivia one. This is called The Rumor. This one was put out in MCA in 1988. Mint condition, your blue rainbow label. But here's the thing that got me, okay? Remember the last album I told you about her? And she had all kinds of session people on here? Well, guess what? It turns out that the rumor was written by Elton John and Bernie Taupin. You know who those two are. They did all kinds of little hits for Elton. Well, guess what? They did it for Olivia, too. And, let's see here. Oh, yeah, and he plays on it, too. He's on it. Davy Johnstone, who also was guitar player for Elton's band at the time, also again. Let's see. Anybody else here? Nope, not really. But, I mean, that was about the only reason why I snagged this album, was because I'm like, I wonder how it sounds like, because I have not had a chance to listen to this yet. Let's see here. Anybody else out of the ordinary? Let's see. Not really. I'm not seeing anybody. But, you know, like I said, to find anything late 80s period is half hard to find. Just a lot of different people. Jason Sheff on bass. He played for Chicago. Yeah, I think that's about right. That's about all you're pretty much going to have on this. So, pretty cool, I think, anyway. But yeah, there she is, all so mysterious behind that bit. So, like I said, for $1, I couldn't pass that up either. Let's see, what else? Let's see. Oop, we'll get to that in a second, sorry. Oh yeah, here's another piece of sheet music. This was from The Sound of Music also. Carol of the Drum. It's got a picture of the Trapp Family Singers, recorded by the Trapp Family Singers on Decca Records. I didn't know that they did an album on Decca. That's cool. Alright, quarter stuff. For my friend Kathy Emmer, who loves him almost as much as the Monkees. Bobby Sherman's Christmas album. I didn't even know he did a Christmas album. Bobby Sherman sings his Christmas hits to you, like Jingle Bell Rock, Blue Christmas, Amen, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and A Song of Joy, among others. I love this man. I have his autograph. Wish I could beat him. Ray Stevens' Greatest Hits on RCA from '85. I didn't have a decent copy of this. Southern Hillman Fury Band. Now, you know, what's kind of cool about this, of course, is you got J.D. Souther, who ended up writing a bunch of hits for the Eagles. Hillman, Chris Hillman from the Byrds, of course, and Richie Fury from Poco and Buffalo Springfield. It's gatefold, of course. Typical standard stuff. Also on here, Al Perkins. Okay, he used to work with Flying Burrito Brothers. He does steel guitar too. Jim Gordon, also, if I remember correctly, was a member of Derek and the Dominoes. I want to say, I think he was on drums. And Joe Layla also did some session work as well. I know he worked for, I think, Eagles, Joe Walsh separately, and everything else. Here, what I thought was kind of goofy. The King's 3 Trio. Now, I'm like, when I saw this, the cover just popped out to me like, how odd. And the back is what kind of got me. It's 3 guys with their guitars, electric guitars, so young. They're like, none of them are older than like 20 in this band. But see, it's gospel. The stories are what really got me on this. Now, I'm going to tell you, probably this is 1964-65 is my guess. I'm not going to tell you the whole dang thing, but one guy comes from Utah, but he was born in New Mexico. He was a rock and roll entertainer and then dedicated his life in singing and playing the gospel. He is actually considered, at that time, one of the best gospel guitarists today. His name was David Velasquez, okay? Let's see. He's also the manager of the group, go figure. Paul Delatorre from Dallas, Texas. Baritone and bass. He was a rock and roll combo leader in the city of Dallas before he met the Master. In 1960, his life was transformed by accepting Christ as his personal Savior. And lastly, Danny Ramos from Greeley, Colorado, born in Garden City, Kansas. He was lead singer and rhythm guitar. At the age of 16, he started singing and was soon recognized as one of the most talented rock and roll singers who sang in many places in the state of Colorado. In 1959, in a camp meeting in New Mexico, he gave his heart to Jesus. All three of them organized in Mexico City in 1963. I've heard one or two songs off this thing. It's not bad. It's not, but it's different. But, you know, that's why record collecting is the way it is, because it's completely different. All over the place. Okay, how about this? Went to vintage stock, picked these up at decently priced. I have to confess to you, I have never seen any old Man O' War albums. Yeah, it's in the plastic, so pardon the shine. But this is the album Into Glory Ride from 1983 on Megaforce Records. Mint condition on this sucker here. Mint. And of course you got your lyric sleeve. Okay. Vanguard of the Elite. It says, like I said, mint. Mint, mint, mint. I have a buddy of mine named Rich, who is a huge Man O' War fan up in Harvard, Illinois. Huge. He probably has this album. This one, I'll have to tell you, I had this in my hand when I was 15 years old at the record shop that I used to go to. It was a mom and pop job in McHenry, Illinois. I don't know why Skip never got a copy of this, or if he did, I missed it. And unfortunately, I didn't have money back then to get it that time, and when I went to go back, it was gone. Well, it only took 31 years, but I've got, that's right, I know you can't see this really well, I'll pull this out here. It says Ozzy Osbourne, New Collector's Edition, All Live EP. Okay, Live Mr. Crowley. That's what, dang it, I'm opening up on the wrong end, I'm a dumbass. But it's all live. Here's your front. And here's your back. Let's see. Other than Mr. Crowley. Come on. Here's the back. You Set It All in Suicide Solution. So all three of them are live. It doesn't state when, but considering it says produced by the Blizzard of Oz and being that it is 1982, I am going to take a safe guess that this does have Randy on it. My memory wasn't that good back then. If this was made before Randy's death or what. Lastly, this I thought was a pretty neat piece. I won this off of a contest. I'm pretty happy about this too. I cannot wait to listen to the rest of this album. I got it over the weekend and just haven't had time. It's from a band I never heard of at first called The Seven. That is the name of the band. The song is Song. The album is Album. And I had the pleasure of it being signed by one of the band members personally to me. Chuck Segroy, I hope I'm getting that right, Chuck. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it. He was the bass player for this band. This is on Thunderbird Records. I'm going to show you the inside of this sucker, too. I'm telling you, this band was Buffalo, Syracuse, New York. Okay? I don't know if you can see this really well. But I'm going to tell you something. And I love horn rock, okay? This is put out, I think, in... dang it, I'm going to feel real bad here. I want to say 69, 70, 71. It's right around that time frame. I'm sorry that I couldn't do any better than that. The couple songs that I've heard off of this through a radio show in YouTube, it's like Ides of March, but kick it up a couple notches. These guys should have been, once again, they should have been more than what they were, you know, popularity-wise. Also thrown in, which I didn't expect, Song was a really good song off of here, but also he included the 45 of Tell Her No, which is a Zombies cover. It's actually a very interesting, radically different cover of that song, and I like the Zombies, and that one was really, really cool. Look for it. I don't know if it's on CD or not. And then also I got here, which I cannot wait to listen to, Dan Elliott and the Monterey. This was thrown in too from the early 80s. I've heard about this band. I heard they're good too. So I'd like to thank, of course, well, they know who they are. I don't bring that up for a very particular reason. Okay, so all right, CD review really quick. I know we're going on 25 minutes. I am so sorry. I've got 2 things left and then the shout-outs, and I'm done for the day. Okay, like I said, I'm not feeling good, so I'm winding down here. But I went and grabbed this up. I wish I could tell you I got this on Tuesday when it first came out, but I didn't because it was delayed till Wednesday. We didn't get it till the next day. But one of my favorite 70s bands is back with a new CD. Black Oak, Arkansas, that's right. That is right. Back there and over yonder on Atco Atlantic. That's right, they're back on Atco. The last time that these guys were on Atco was in 75. They're back. And here's the back cover. Okay? I'll show you. This is a trifold digipack sucker. Really nice. They did a very good, packaging job on this thing. The gist of it is this. 5 new songs, okay? They've got, this is the first new material since 1999, if I remember correctly. I've got the Wild Bunch. That was an album back on Cleopatra Records. But for the 5 tunes, I'm going to tell you right now, my favorite 2 literally are the first 2 on here, Plugged In and Wired and Sweet Out the Water. I love them. Go listen to them on YouTube. Better yet, go and buy the album, because if Black Oak is watching this, we had like 4 or 5 copies of this CD, and they were almost sold out within 2 days. We love you down in Rogers, Arkansas, guys. Trust me, you guys still sell records, and I'm happy. But what that is, though, is the first 5 songs. It's still Jim Dandy, Ricky Lee on guitar, Pat Doherty, the original bass player, and also Jimmy Soybean Henderson. He was with them in the mid-'70s lineup of Black Oak. And then Johnny Boland, George Hugh, and Hal McCormick, which are in the band still, since the mid-'90s. And if I remember correctly, Buddy Church was a member of this band at one point or another. He came back too to do guitar work, although I could be wrong on this. Now 6 songs, 6 through 15 on here were recorded in 1972 to 74. These were previously unreleased songs or versions of songs that were released but were produced by Tom Dowd. Remember him? Yeah, that Tom Dowd, one of the best producers around. And that's your classic lineup, of course, of Jim Dandy, Ricky Lee, Pat Doherty, Stanley Goober Knight, who he would have made it to the reunion, but he was ill. And, of course, he passed away, I think it was in March of this year, from cancer. Prayers, of course, out to his family and friends. Harvey Chet and Tommy Aldridge were all on 6 through 15. And, of course, it comes with a nice, wonderful, seriously, I like all the pictures in the book. Yeah, Jim Dandy and company. They never really went away, but they're back, at least in the public and national eye. And I'm going to tell you now, go buy this. If you like Southern and boogie rock, you will not be disappointed. I mean it. All right. Lastly, I brought this up before. I'm going to bring it up again. Devin Michaels Project. Yes, go get this CD. Facebook, Devin Michaels Project. Okay? Or Facebook, his friend Mike DeBold. Get yourself a CD, $5. You can't screw this up, trust me. It's really good. I have an apology to make to Devin. Sorry, Devin, I'm getting old. My co-write credit for Meet My Maker is on the inside corner. Sorry, Devin, don't get mad at me again, please. I'm hiding in shame. So, guess what, though? 2 winners got drawn. Tim Smith, Ronnie Dark, you both get copies. You both get copies of this, because you guys were the ones drawn. Yay! When I'm feeling better, hopefully later this week, and after I get paid, I will be mailing these out to both of you so that you guys can enjoy it. All right. Let's see here. Shout outs. Once again, I'm not going to, this is always the first shout out. Wax Museum with Ronnie Dark. He's on Sunday nights, 6 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Best 3 hours of 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s rock you're going to find that you don't hear on the radio. I mean it. This is ear candy for your soul. Then after that, don't touch that dang dial. So help me or I'll slap your hand. Night Owl with Mike Adams. I think he shakes his head now. I came up with some really bad puns on I Facebook these guys when they're doing their shows. I'm surprised Mike hasn't gone off and wanted to choke me through that computer because I get silly. But he's on with Night Owl Lounge with Mike Adams from 9 to 10, Sunday night Central Standard Time. Best in Lounge and Exotica. All real good stuff. Like I said, I want to thank, who else I want? Like I said, a shout out to Black Oak, Arkansas, Devin Michaels Project. I'm hoping to be doing a field trip episode of Psyko Platter. That is in the work right now. Because we're going to interview somebody. I'm not going to mention it yet till you guys see it. It'll be just a little bit different for me. Until then, guys, let's see, anybody else? Thrifty Music Collectors Club, Shindig Magazine, Record Collector Magazine. I don't know. There's probably more, and I'm forgetting. YouTube Vinyl Community. I know, almost 31 and a half minutes. I'm sorry, guys. You guys take care. God bless. Rock on. And happy picking, and hopefully see you next week.